Hello friends, welcome to this video. In this video, we will take up the topic called linear organization, which is one of the types of organization. But let me just remind you that in previous video, we discussed about what is organization, what are its characteristics, its nature and its importance. So after that, now we start with the topic types of organization, and for this particular video we have taken up first popular type of organization, which is linear organization, also called line organization. Now line organization or linear organization is one of the simplest and oldest form or type of organization. It is one of the types of formal organizations. It is simplest and oldest form of organization. In most countries, armies also, over the years, it has been used popularly. So it is also known as army organization, right? And its one more name is departmental organization, right? Now, in explaining meaning of this type of organization, we can say that its name is line organization because in this particular type of organization, flow of authority, flow of power flows from top to bottom without any break in a vertical pattern, right, in a line pattern. And that's why this type of organization's name is line organization or linear organization, right? As far as its formation is concerned, I have drawn the diagram of the structure beforehand so that we can save our time. So, suppose in a company or any corporate structure, we want to follow and frame linear organization. So how is it formed? So while formation of the line organization in a company, highest authority or topmost authority is board of directors, right? Group of company directors, we call them board of directors. Supreme authority, highest authority, who represents shareholders of the company. Then what do? They give power, authority of administration to a person called, to a post called, to a position called general manager in some cases, or the name could be given chief executive officer. So we can note that there is centralization of authority in line organization at the top of the organization. The more we go topward in the organization level wise, the more the concentration of power, right? And the top level people delegate their authorities and powers to their subordinates, and that's how flow of authority and power flows from top to bottom in a linear pattern. So general manager or chief executive officer, in between board of directors and general manager or CEO, in some companies chairman post is kept, managing director post is kept. That depends on the company management, top management, whether to keep that post or not. But board of directors give full administrative powers to general manager or CEO. He is made commander-in-chief, in other words, who will be given entire administrative powers of the company. Now he will delegate further powers bottomward, and in this particular line organization, what do? Departmentation is done. You can see here in this diagram. Say for example, the company can create a department depending on the activity required. Say for production activity, to handle production activity, CEO can construct or create production department, and departmental head will be made in charge of that particular department. He will be given total responsibilities and authorities related to the department functioning. Say for example, production manager. departmental head of production department is production management manager. Production manager will be in charge of production activity in the company. Similarly, suppose company management, top management feels, CEO feels that we should keep another department called marketing management. Marketing management department will be handled by departmental head called marketing manager. Similarly, suppose company decides to create one more department, finance department will be handled by an in charge called finance manager. Remember, it is not so that there are only 3 departments in any company. This is just an example through which we want to highlight how actually formation of line organization is done. Depending on company's requirement and decisions taken by the top level, company can change, company can increase or decrease their departments. I hope it is clear, right? So now let us come back to the production management. Production management will be headed by production manager who will work under the direct guidance and control of CEO or general manager. He will get full authority related to production activities. In return, he will be accountable directly, he will be responsible directly to CEO or general manager. He will have to answer all questions and queries related to production activities to the CEO or general manager. Now, production manager will create and construct positions like production officer, inventory officer, purchase officer as per his requirement. Officers will again delegate their power and authority to the production supervisor, right? Inventory supervisor, purchase officer, under purchase officer there will be purchase supervisor. And under production supervisor, there will be foremen. If required, they can keep the post, or under direct supervisor, we can keep workers. Either we can keep in between foremen or workers. Likewise, in marketing management, CEO will delegate powers to marketing manager related to entire marketing activities, selling and promotion activity related activities. Under him, sales officer and publicity officers posts like this can be created as per the requirement and decisions taken by the top level. They will be under them, there will be sales supervisor, publicity supervisor, and under them salesmen and employees and workers will work. Similarly, in finance management, finance department, under finance manager, there will be finance officer, accounts officer, auditor and controlling officers can be kept. And under them, finance superintendent, auditors, clerks, and workers of finance department can work. So we can note here that flow of authority flows without any break, right? Unbroken flow of authority flows from top to bottom in this type of organization, and flow of responsibility also flows in a linear pattern, but it flows in the opposite direction. Flow of authority flows from top to bottom, and flow of responsibility and accountability flows in the opposite direction from bottom to top. Let's clarify with one simple example. Let's see how every worker is connected in a linear pattern without any break. Board of directors give authority and power to GM or CEO. CEO and or GM will give powers to production management head, production manager. Production manager will delegate his authority and powers to production officers to production supervisor to production foreman, and production foreman to worker. Did you see? क्या आपने देखा कि अथॉरिटी का जो फ्लो है वो ऊपर से नीचे अनब्रोकन, बगैर टूटे बह रहा है, इसीलिए इसका नाम लीनियर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन रखा गया है. अगर आप फ्लो ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी की बात करो, कौन किसको जवाब देगा अपने सौंपे हुए और मिले हुए काम के बारे में, तो उल्टा बहता है. वर्कर जवाब देगा अपने फॉरमैन को. फॉरमैन इज अकाउंटेबल एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू हिज सुपरवाइजर. सुपरवाइजर विल रिपोर्ट to production officer. Production officer will report to production manager. Production manager will report to GM or CEO, and he in turn will be accountable and responsible and will report to board of directors. तो flow of authority और flow of responsibility दोनों linear pattern में but opposite direction में बहते हुए नजर आते हैं लाइन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. और यही लाइन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की सबसे बड़ी पेक्युलरिटी, स्पेशलिटी है। ठीक है, चलो अब टू कंक्लूड द वीडियो, इसके मेन जो एडवांटेजेस हैं, मेन मेरिट्स हैं, प्लसेस हैं ये टाइप के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के, वो ये है कि नंबर 1, इट इज वेरी सिंपल टू कंस्ट्रक्ट, फॉर्मुलेट एंड इंप्लीमेंट एंड एग्जीक्यूट दिस टाइप ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, नंबर 1. नंबर 2, second important merit or advantage of line organization is that in this type of organization there is unity of command. Only one person gives direction and guidance and orders and instruction to each subordinate. आप देख सकते हैं डायग्राम में, जैसे प्रोडक्शन सुपरवाइजर को सिर्फ प्रोडक्शन ऑफिसर से ही गाइडेंस मिलेगा, कंट्रोलिंग मिलेगा, कमांड मिलेंगे, ऑर्डर्स मिलेंगे, कोई और उसे कमांड नहीं देगा. यूनिटी ऑफ कमांड मेंटेन होता है, राइट, नो डाइवर्सिटी ऑफ कमांड. नंबर 3, अनदर इंपॉर्टेंट एडवांटेज ऑफ दिस टाइप ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज डिसिप्लिन लेवल इज हाईएस्ट इन दिस टाइप ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कंपेयर टू अदर टाइप्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. आर्मी में आर्मियों में प्रीफर होने का इसका वजह जो है मेन वो यही है कि इसमें हाईएस्ट डिसिप्लिन मेंटेन किया जा सकता है. वन मोर एडवांटेज इज that authority and responsibility is made distinctly clear. कौन किसको जवाब देगा, कौन किसका सुपीरियर, कौन किसका सबऑर्डिनेट, एकदम क्लियर होता है. नंबर 1 more advantage, work distribution is pinpointed, right? कौन से एम्प्लॉय की क्या जिम्मेदारी होगी और कौन से एम्प्लॉय को अपने काम का जवाब किसे देना है, ये बिल्कुल क्लियर होता है. Right. So you can hold precisely responsible to an employee if anything goes wrong in this type of organization. ये भी इसका बड़ा एडवांटेज है, मेरिट है लाइन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का. तो ये इसके मेन प्लसेस हैं. अगर आप माइनसेस की या डीमेरिट्स की बात करो, डिफिकल्टीज या डीमेरिट्स की बात करो लाइन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की, तो ये है कि नंबर 1, इसमें वर्क बर्डन ऑफ सुपीरियर्स इज मोर. You can observe production manager handles the entire production management department, and it's a great responsibility coming on to shoulder of only one person, so he will be overloaded all the time. Similarly, marketing manager की पूरी जिम्मेदारी एक ही इंसान को संभालनी है. चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिसर के कंधे पर पूरे एंटायर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की जिम्मेदारी यहाँ खड़ी होती है. तो एक और इसका डिसएडवांटेज ये है कि overburdened superiors are found overburdened in this type of organization. ये इसका डिसएडवांटेज है. दूसरा डिसएडवांटेज ये है, सेकंड डिसएडवांटेज इज दैट नो स्पेशलाइजेशन. Importance to departmentation is given rather than specialization. That is one more disadvantage of this type of organization, right? So that is these are the main demerits or disadvantages of line organization, and I hope I have succeeded in explaining line organization to your conviction. Thank you.